Tonight, a widespread freeze in the morning forecast. We're continuing to track the latest coronavirus developments, and we're learning more about the facility housing the confirmed local coronavirus patients.
Thanks for joining us for KSAT News at 9 from here in the KSAT 12 newsroom. I'm Myra Arthur. President Donald Trump addressing the nation today in an effort to minimize fears related to the coronavirus outbreak. President Trump says the U.S. is very, very ready for whatever the coronavirus outbreak brings. During a White House news conference today, he also announced that he's put Vice President Mike Pence in charge of overseeing the nation's response.
While the threat to the American public remains low of a spread of the coronavirus, you have directed this team to take all steps necessary to continue to ensure the health and well-being of the American people.
President Trump has been pushing back against criticism that his administration is not doing enough to meet the threat of the spread of this virus. Lawmakers are calling for more money, more than the $2.5 billion the White House has requested. Today, the president did say he is open to spending more money if needed. Back here at home, several school districts have sent notices to parents about combating the spread of the novel coronavirus. Harlandale ISD, East Central ISD, Northside and Northeast ISDs informing parents that hand washing is a big part of their prevention plan. They're also encouraging students and teachers to stay home if they're sick and avoid close contact with others who are sick. Yesterday, the CDC warned that the virus will likely spread further. All 5 people in San Antonio confirmed to have the coronavirus are being monitored at the Texas Center for Infectious Disease. The TCID, not one of the city's major hospitals, and a facility that a lot of people don't know much about. So tonight we're explaining what the Texas Center for Infectious Disease is and what we've learned about how it functions.
The primary mission of the Texas Center for Infectious Disease is to treat patients diagnosed with tuberculosis, a highly contagious illness that affects the lungs. Patients with Hansen's disease, also known as leprosy, according to the CDC, are treated at the center's 4 outpatient clinics located throughout the state. But in recent days, the TCID has made headlines as the place where multiple evacuees brought to Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland for quarantine are now being taken after showing symptoms or testing positive for the COVID-19 coronavirus. The facility is located on Southeast Military Drive between South Presa and I-37 near Brooks City Base. According to information provided online by the Texas Department of State Health Services, TCID provides patient care, scientific investigation, and therapeutic and educational services. The facility has been treating patients with tuberculosis since 1953. It has 75 beds, which online info describes as having integrated air quality and security systems. 22 rooms have been set aside to keep coronavirus evacuees in a wing closed off from the rest of the building. Patients being treated for TB usually stay at the center anywhere from 3 months to more than 2 years. TCID treated 109 patients over the last fiscal year. 15% of those TB cases were considered drug-resistant. The state says the center is equipped to accept patients from outside of Texas if needed.
And that may soon be the case. A woman from Texas who tested positive for the coronavirus after being evacuated from Wuhan, China, will soon be brought to San Antonio from California, where she's been in quarantine. Right now on our website, you can keep up with live coronavirus updates using a real-time map created by Johns Hopkins University. It depicts where the latest confirmed cases and deaths from this virus have been reported. To check it out, just go to KSAT.com and click on this story. Sarah Spivey is with us tonight to talk about what's going to be a chilly morning ahead.
A freezing morning ahead, Myra. And you know, it's not unusual to have a freeze in February, but it has been so warm recently.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have even started to put out some of those plants and like fresh herbs and stuff like that. You're going to need to bring them in or at least cover them up because it is going to get really cold tonight. And today, boy, was it windy, especially during the first part of the day. A lot of us woke up in the middle of the night because of those winds howling through our homes. The high today was only 56 degrees. That, my friends, is well below the average of 69. It was 39 degrees early this morning, so very cold as well this morning. But again, temperatures will be much colder by the start of the day tomorrow. Look at these people peak wind gusts. Around San Antonio, the peak wind gust was 44 miles per hour, but a wider view here, we had wind gusts in some places up to 48 miles per hour. Even up in New Braunfels, it was 43 mile per hour wind gusts. So it was very windy both last night and early this morning. But since then, winds have really started to calm down. We've got a wind from the north right now at about 5 miles per hour, and we've got completely clear skies. All right, there's a recipe for cold weather in the evening hours. It's clear skies, check. Calmer winds, check. And that's it. It's only a 2-ingredient recipe, all right? Temperatures are going to really cool down tonight. We're already at 42. Again, that's down from our afternoon high of 56. And then watch as we take you through the futurecast. Those temperatures are really just going to tumble. We'll be in the 30s by midnight. And as we turn the corner on tomorrow morning, we'll be below freezing. Some places in the 20s, like up in the hill country, the higher elevations. Leon Springs will be in the 20s, Bernie in the 20s. Here in downtown San Antonio, I think we'll actually even be a couple degrees cooler than that, close to 30 degrees in the early morning hours. And again, it's only going to be about an hour or two below freezing, but still that's enough to cause some kind of issues for some of those sensitive vegetation and sensitive plants. So we start off the day tomorrow at 30 degrees. That's a freeze, but we'll very quickly warm up under complete sunshine. In fact, by noon, we'll be 25 degrees warmer than how we started off the day, in the mid 50s. And in the afternoon, will be more than 30 degrees warmer than how we started the day, in the low 60s for the high. So really, tomorrow afternoon will be warmer than today. We're just going to start off very cold. A wind from the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, then it'll become chilly in the evening hours. Now, those morning temperatures are going to rise. Really, we'll only have to deal with the freeze tomorrow morning. We'll still be in the 30s on Friday, close to the 30s on Saturday, but then humidity returns, and with it, our morning lows also increase. We'll be in the 60s for morning lows. Afternoon highs will be back into the 70s, even the upper 70s as we start the week next week. So we're about done with the colder weather for a few days. Just that freeze tomorrow morning, cooler than average temperature tomorrow in the afternoon. Then we warm up. Myra, will be humid again as we start the week next week, but unfortunately it's just going to be a mugginess in the air. We're not really going to see much rain from that.
All right, nice temperatures though.
Yeah, it'll be nice and comfortable outside.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Yep.
Today was day 3 of arbitration for an SAPD officer fighting to get his job back. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus testified, saying that he stands by his decision to fire Matthew Luckhurst. In June of 2016, Luckhurst and another officer defecated in a women's restroom at the downtown bike patrol office. Luckhurst then covered the seat with a brown substance. That's what led to Officer Luckhurst's second indefinite suspension. His first firing stemmed from an infamous incident in which he gave a homeless man a sandwich made of dog excrement. He won reinstatement through a previous arbitration hearing. Arbitration for Luckhurst in this case is expected to run through tomorrow. Historic legislation passed today by U.S. lawmakers. Survivors of a deadly crash testifying today during a drunk driving suspect's trial, and an oil refinery up in flames. Here's tonight's 9 at 9.
Here's tonight's 9 at 9. The mother of 2 children who haven't been seen in months appeared in court today, all while the search for 7-year-old and 17-year-old siblings who vanished in Idaho continues. They were last seen in September at Yellowstone National Park. Lori Vallow is in custody in Hawaii awaiting possible extradition to Idaho. Officials believe she deserted the children and moved to Hawaii in December. Many just want answers to the kids' whereabouts.
Lori Vallow and her husband have remained silent. We caught up with Chad Daybell at a gas station here on Kauai Island, and we asked that same question, but he refused to answer.
I just can't comment.
We're still working to learn the name of a woman who died while crossing the street this morning.
The crash happened around 6 a.m. on Nacogdoches, just south of Wurzbach Parkway. Police say the 65-year-old woman was not at the crosswalk when she was hit. The driver did stop to render aid and is cooperating with police. Today, the House of Representatives passed historic legislation making lynching a federal crime. It's called the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act and passed in a 410-4 vote. Emmett Till was the 14-year-old whose brutal murder in Mississippi became a civil rights rallying cry in the 1950s. The Senate will take up that bill this week. The White House has indicated that President Donald Trump would sign the bill if it gets to his desk. Survivors of a fatal drunk driving crash sharing their story during the suspect's trial. Rosalinda Olalde is facing intoxication manslaughter and intoxication assault charges. Prosecutors say Olalde veered from the access road and onto a sidewalk where the victim's car was hit.
I just feel like a huge impact. And then I feel myself, I guess, going out of consciousness, but still conscious. And then the rest I remember just waking up.
The driver was pinned behind the wheel and paramedics worked 20 minutes to save his life, but without success. If convicted, she faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison.
There are reports of multiple explosions and a large fire.
And those reports were true. Take a look at this massive refinery explosion in Carson, California. Refinery officials say a unit that handles light gases like methane and propane exploded and caught fire just before 11 last night.
We heard an explosion, and then a couple minutes later we heard 2 more consecutive explosions.
We saw like a huge explosion. I saw a big light.
While the refinery processes heavy crude oil, none of that burned. What exactly did burn? Still a mystery, along with the cause of the fire. 53 firearms and more than $300,000 cash confiscated in raids in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A total of 24 people face federal charges in connection with the investigation. Also found a large amount of drugs.
A kilogram or more of heroin, at least 5 kilograms of powder cocaine, at least 280 grams of crack cocaine, and more than 50 kilograms of marijuana.
Investigators say the suspects were part of a drug trafficking organization. In Illinois, a school bus slid on some snow and off of the road, then flipped onto its side. 3 students were on board at the time. 2 of them taken to a hospital for evaluation, but no serious injuries reported. Officials say slick road conditions are to blame, and the driver will not face any citations. It's a billion-year-old fossil believed to be an ancestor of Earth's very first plants. These tiny freckles found in a rock in northern China are actually billion-year-old seaweed microfossils. Scientists say the find could hold the key to understanding the origins of plant life on Earth. It's something you don't expect to see when you open your front door, but that was the case for one Washington state homeowner. His front yard covered in hundreds of tumbleweeds. The area expected high winds over the weekend, and this is what was left behind. But the homeowner does have a plan to remove them.
If you're the average person, you throw them into the street and hope they go away. If you're me, you throw them into your irrigation ditch and then burn them.
To read more about these 9 stories, go to KSAT.com.
You're watching KSAT News at 9. We'll be back in just 1 minute. Immigration has been the subject of many elections, and this election this year is no different. Former San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro believes Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren can help lead the country in the right direction. Castro speaking with us tonight ahead of Warren's town hall in the Alamo City tomorrow. Former presidential candidate himself, he endorsed Warren earlier this year. Castro made that announcement just days after ending his own bid for the White House. The former mayor of San Antonio says he picked Warren because she's been fighting for everyday American families. He says Warren wants to come to San Antonio to talk about her vision for the future of the country and how it relates to Texans.
I made immigration a centerpiece of my campaign. I have confidence that if Elizabeth Warren is elected president, she's going to make fixing our broken immigration system a real priority. She's not going to wait. She's going to go to work immediately to make sure that families are no longer separated, that we treat people with compassion and dignity instead of cruelty, that we ensure that dreamers and their families and others are able to remain here and pursue citizenship.
Castro says Warren is picking up momentum after recent debates and that he is sure she can win Texas. The town hall for Warren is tomorrow at Sunset Station Lone Star Pavilion. Doors open at 4:30. That town hall begins at 6:30. The event is free and open to the public. There are still 5 days left until Super Tuesday. Only 2 days of early voting left in Bexar County. So let's take a look at today's vote totals. About 8,100 people voted in the Democratic primary. 4,300 voted in the Republican primary. That brings the total number of early Bexar County votes cast so far to more than 79,000. Meanwhile, one of the candidates for Bexar County Sheriff made an appearance in felony court today. This was former Precinct 2 Constable Michelle Barrientos Vela's first court appearance since her arrest last month. Barrientos Vela and her former captain Mark Garcia made a list of public corruption charges. She has added former District Attorney Nico LaHood's law firm in her fight to overcome the 6 criminal counts she faces.
At this time, she maintains her innocence, and we stand with her.
Barrientos Vela and Garcia are scheduled to make their next court appearance in about 60 days. Turning to tonight's top stories, multiple people dead in a shooting at Molson Coors Brewing Company complex in Milwaukee. Police say there is no active threat, and according to the city's mayor, the shooter is among the dead. The complex where the shooting happened is a mix of corporate offices and brewing facilities. At least 600 people work there. An opioid company reached a $1.6 billion settlement agreement. Mallinckrodt said the deal resolves all drug-related claims against the company and its subsidiaries. The agreement is with attorneys general for 47 states and U.S. territories, including Texas. The payments from plaintiffs will be received over an 8-year period. Funds will be used to help take care of addiction costs and additional needs. A new report finds that making purchases online and having them delivered is not good for the environment. The main reason is the way people shop. They purchase frequently, but many people only buy a few items at a time. This produces more packaging waste, plus online items tend to come from multiple distribution centers. Let's go to our website now to find out what's trending tonight with Ferris Sabawi.
Myra, how are you?
I'm great.
Well, fantastic.
It's midweek, doing well.
It's midweek. It's Ash Wednesday, and speaking of Ash Wednesday, of course, we got you covered on KSAT.com. We put together a list of a lot of restaurants you can find right here in San Antonio that are offering some really good seafood specials during the Lent season.
Okay, because that starts Friday, right?
It starts Friday. You're not supposed to eat meat, but you can eat fish, and a lot of these restaurants got you covered. Bill Miller, of course, one of the big ones, bringing back their fried fish sandwich. A lot of people like that one. And, you know, even Church's Chicken has a seafood plate. So for a chicken place to go out of its way to provide you seafood, I mean, that's just really thoughtful.
There are some that I wouldn't expect, I guess, on this list. So it's nice to have some good options.
Yeah, you have some good options. And a lot of these options, most of them have multiple locations around town. But also, our locations cover a lot of the city. So definitely check out KSAT.com for this list. Maybe you and the family go out and can, have some fish and enjoy a good Lent season.
Our digital team always providing us with a list of places to eat.
We're watching out for you every time. I think we're just hungry all the time is what it actually is. Going on to this, our next story, Myra, we knew this would happen, but more than 1,300 complaints have now been filed to the FCC about Shakira and J-Lo's Super Bowl show.
1,300.
Yes, so 1,300 people took the time out of their days to give the FCC a piece of their mind, and they did not hold back when it came to their thoughts about this halftime show, surprisingly.
Working for a television station, this does not surprise me.
No, it's something that happens every year, I feel like, with any phenomenon that goes on TV. Like, you get a lot of complaints. A lot of people were very upset about this. They called it pornographic. They called it X-rated. You can watch it for yourself, I guess, and make that determination. But yeah, more than 1,300 complaints have logged. A lot of them said they'd be boycotting the NFL and Pepsi going forward. So we'll have to see how those sales do.
Well, I believe those two organizations will carry on.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find out. Thoughts and prayers, for sure, for sure. In our last story of the day, Myra, now we've been covering the coronavirus a lot here at KSAT.
Yeah.
But something interesting the CDC put out today is actually a really funny graphic showing what kind of facial hair you can and can't have if you want to wear a mask or a respirator to keep yourself safe from this virus.
So facial hair can interfere with the mask. That's the issue?
Now, the mask is, it seals, it's supposed to seal around the surface. So if you have any hair there, it can interfere with that. And so they gave a kind of helpful and also a kind of funny graphic on what facial hairstyles work and what doesn't. Basically, anything clean shaven, a really thin mustache, things like that work out very well.
So you would not be very helpful in preventing the spread?
Unfortunately, I would not. And I was thinking about this today. I was like, should I shave to wear a mask? And then I was like, no, I think I'll just risk imminent death. I think I'm okay with that. I'll die with my beard, so that's okay.
Ferris.
I would definitely
stick
take
around,
that.
buddy.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
What does work is the soul patch, though. So if you know, I know the soul patch is a very popular, very sexy option.
Are you saying that works in this situation or just in general?
It works in this situation. I wouldn't suggest it in any other situation.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify where you stand on that.
No, I'm definitely anti-soul patch, but if you need to prove something, then you can do that and wear your coronavirus mask, and we all win, I guess.
All right.
So that's it.
You know, it's been a it's a huge story, right? But it's nice to have a laugh.
We still find something to do with it. Yeah.
CDC's laughing, so we'll laugh.
We'll laugh with them, I guess.
All right. Thanks, Ferris. We'll be right back. That does it for this edition of KSAT News at 9. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Myra Arthur. Have a great night.